Hi Glasgow, this is Bailey Jeff, a podcast editor for the Panther Post. We are doing our second episode of the What Would You Do podcast series, and we are so happy to have you here. I have Nahom Daniel here with me today, and we are currently working on a debate podcast, a sports podcast, and a mental health awareness podcast. So if you're interested in coming on for any of them, feel free to reach out to us.
Hi, I'm Nahom Daniel, and I'm also one of the podcast editors. If you want to reach out to one of us, my email is 1573563@fcbsschools.net, and Bailey's is 1659879@fcbsschools.net. Today we're going to be discussing what you would do if you're in our houses and they suddenly disappeared, and these questions are no specific order. Also, feel free to play along at home. So let's get into it. Our first question is, what would you first do? Get shelter, food, friends, etc. And I would just stand there and take a few minutes to process what just happened. Because I'm in my home doing whatever I'm doing, like using my PlayStation or something. And I'm just randomly outside and like my home has vanished. I'm just like trying to like think about what just happened and understand the process of what I'm just like trying to understand everything that's going on. Cause like, when do you ever see a home disappear that quick?
I definitely think that if your house just suddenly disappeared, you'd be quite flustered and just like, what has happened? Why am I suddenly on the ground? But I would probably run over to my neighbor's house and explain what happened. Obviously, nobody's gonna believe me that my house just suddenly disappeared, so I'd probably have to show them, but I definitely think that you gotta have some sort of proof. Okay, our second question is, how would you get people to believe you?
Well, so I'd just like take a picture of my house and just show it to people around me. Cause like, if they're my neighbors, then I'm like, or people across the street from me, then I'm obviously just gonna show it to them since they're right next to my house. But like, if like the further I get from my house, the harder it will be for people to see it. Cause so like, if I'm a block away, it'll be hard for like somebody to see it. So I'm gonna have to like take a picture of my house just not there and just show it to everybody around. And like, I guess ask for help.
Yeah, I think I'd have to show them the giant space in the ground, because you definitely see like the indent in where there's nothing living underneath my house, and we have this little crawl space underneath our house, so you would be able to see like a lot of weird stuff under there.
I wonder what is like, do you actually crawl under there? Like if you have like,
oh my gosh, no. I mean, it's very small, but my dog's gotten under there and she ran right back out, so there's definitely something scary under there.
Alright, so our next question is, once people believe you, if they do, how will you fix your lost house issue? So I guess I'll just like ask people if they see in a missing house. Hopefully I get something out of that, but if not, I'll try looking on foot, because like there's no way that like a house will go that far, because it's like a house and it's big. Mm-hmm. There's no way that it can go that far unless it's like on a car. But even then, it'll like take long since the house is heavy.
That's a good point. Well, I think what I would do is I'd call one of the devices in the house, because you know where you can do like the Find Your iPhone? I think I would do that, and so I'd find their IP address and then like track it down, and then I'd get a very strong set of balloons to take it back home. Like, you know in the movie Up where the house is like floating away? Yeah. That would be my house.
I loved Up as a movie. I mean, as a kid.
Yeah, it was very sad, but it was good.
Mm-hmm. I just like always like wondered what it'd be like to just like take your house in balloons and just fly it away.
Yeah. Okay, so once your house disappeared, what would you prioritize finding? So what's the most important thing to you in your house?
I'd probably say like my family, but like also my belongings, because like I have a lot of stuff. Like I have a PS4, I have a Switch, and like it's just like those things are really valuable to me because I really like using those things. And if I don't have them, I get really bored, and there's like no way I can survive without them unless I have somebody to talk to. But like I need those things to live, you know, and it's like I have to find them, or else like I'm just gonna be so bored. I'm just gonna be like, I just can't like go through my day without it.
Okay. Yeah, going along with what you were saying, I would definitely want to find my family, and I'm gonna assume they're still in this disappearing house, so it would definitely, they must also be flustered as to why they're suddenly in this new location, whether they're still moving or they're in a solid place. I think that would be crazy trying to find your family and house that suddenly disappeared.
Yeah. Alright, so our next question is, where would you live until you found your home? And I would say I'd live with my neighbors or cousins, because like I wouldn't want to live alone on the streets, because I get a bit scared if I'm just alone on the streets, especially in the dark, because like who knows what you can find in the dark. But like, because I have friends and family around, so it's like I have them to trust, and I know they can give me shelter if I really need it.
Okay, yeah. I think that I would probably go to my neighbor's house or find some other good shelter, as you're saying, because you don't want to find out, like, how cold if our house disappeared when it's this cold, I do not want to be outside. So I definitely think that, like, going to a neighbor's house and being like, hey, can I, like, sleep over with you for, like, a couple of nights until I find my lost house?
Yeah.
Okay, so what are some supplies that you would buy?
So for me, that's a hard question, because like I said before, I like need like a PlayStation or something to survive, and like those things are really expensive, and like I don't really want to buy another one. So like, I guess I'd just buy like important stuff, because like I don't want to be spoiled and just like get games and stuff. So like I just like try and get like food, you know, and just like water, and just like valuable stuff that I'll actually need.
Yeah, I also think that I would get food, water, probably some spare clothing, because I think when you're living out in the wild, being all extreme, that you definitely are gonna need some new clothing. And then I like nothing like crazy, just like maybe like a sweatshirt and some other pants or something. And then I also think I would need a book, because as you were saying, I also can get quite bored, so I definitely think that having something to do and a way to distract myself from the fact that I don't have a house anymore, because it's just suddenly like popped off the planet.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so that is all of our questions for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed our second episode of the What Would You Do series.
And we will see you next time. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.